The saying goes that every photographer should own a 50mm lens, and Sigma's dropping a brand new lens that's giving mirrorless photographers something to talk about. Hey, it's Andrew from Pixel Connection, and Sigma has just released their brightest and highest performing 50mm prime lens in their Art Series lineup. Introducing the Sigma 50mm F1.2 DG-DN made for Sony E-mount and L-mount cameras. Thank you to Sigma for sending us this pre-production model lens so that we could test it to compare if it really is an upgrade compared to their 50mm 1.4 lens that released just last year. Before we dive into the new lens's specs, let's try it out first. For the latest news and reviews for new gear in the photo industry, please consider subscribing. Despite the lens's fast aperture, it is actually the lightest weight in its class, coming in at just under 2 pounds, which is nearly a pound less than the Sigma 35 1.2 and just a pinch heavier than the Sigma 50mm 1.4. Designed specifically for full-frame mirrorless camera systems, this lens is dust and splash resistant with a water and oil repellent coating on the front of the lens element. With a 72mm filter ring, which is the same as the Sigma 50mm 1.4, but internally these lenses are very, very different. Starting with the fact that this lens allows you to take advantage of its extremely large aperture to create beautifully large bokeh effects that maintain their circle pattern even when the aperture is stopped down. And this is due to Sigma's first ever 13 blade rounded diaphragm, as compared to their f1.4 models, only 11 blades. The larger your aperture can go, the more light you will let into your sensor, allowing photographers to shoot handheld in low light situations, such as indoors or evening scenes, without the need to compensate with your other exposure methods. One of the highest selling points of this lens is the dual HLA driven floating autofocus. The dual HLA achieves focus smoothly, swiftly, and silently for both stills and video, and is designed to minimize focus breathing. When it comes to autofocus, what we're really looking for is for speed and reliability, and focusing is almost instantaneous with the lens paired with the Sony a7R5 body, for example. I saw similar results with the a7 IV and the a7S III. Focusing with this lens in electronic shutter mode is virtually silent, and only noise I hear is my finger pressing the shutter button, which can be very handy for those who want to be very discreet when shooting. On the lens, you'll see this Art Series label with the nice tactile aperture ring that can click or declick via this switch. It's super tactile, and I personally love the way that it feels. We have our autofocus and manual focus switch on the top here, and an autofocus lock button that can be configured in your menu settings for different operations. Out of the box, this lens comes with a regular front and back cap, plus a lens locking hood and a carrying case. I saw a surprisingly drastic change in performance between the two lenses. The 1.2 is definitely sharper and definitely faster in terms of autofocus, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy I was able to do this because it really opened up my eyes to what Sigma's 1.2 line of lenses can really do. This 50mm lens is an all-in-one package outfitted to shoot portraits, to landscapes, even to action and sports, and is always a no-brainer to have in your camera bag. But what we want to know is, what would you shoot with this lens? Let us know in the comments below. For more information about this lens, please feel free to reach out to us here at Pixel Connection, and we'll see you next time.